Now we're starting the broadcast. I've got lots of windows I'm working with. So here we go, gals. Welcome to the Inspirational Businesswoman Show, where we're going to be talking with Raven Blair Glover about interview profit secrets. So hold on to your hats. You're ready for a ride of your life. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. This is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational Businesswoman Show, where it is my passion and my purpose to provide you, the entrepreneur, with a gold mine of inspirational tips, strategies, and advice to help you grow your business. So thank you for stopping in here today. We're doing something a little different. We're having a little fun. We are simulcasting on Hangouts on Air and on Blab. So I want to thank all of you for coming. Those of you who are here with us live today, and those of you who will be catching us in replay, thank you for being here, because I know your time is valuable and I want you to make the best of this time. So my intention is for you to take this wonderful information you're about to receive from my special guest and apply it in your life and in your business. Now, today's show is sponsored by Hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a free Hangout and live stream marketing assessment. Now, why might you want to do that? Well, because you want to learn how to brand, grow, and market your business fast. Then you need to learn how to use these platforms and use them effectively in your business. So go ahead and take the assessment. All you have to do is text the word success to 307-269-2040. And once you take that assessment, you'll get a full report back, and you might even qualify for a strategy session with me, where we're going to sit down and talk about your business and how you can start applying these platforms in your own business. So take advantage of that, won't you? Now, let me introduce to you our very special guest, and that is none other than Raven Blair Glover. She's known as the interview conversion queen. You know, she was a previous celebrity on CNN radio. She's a 3-time award winner in her own talk show, and she is known as the interview conversion queen. So look what we're going to talk about today. Makes sense, doesn't it? Interview profit secrets. Well, they're not going to be a secret when we're done today. So I hope you've got your pen and paper, and you're going to take lots of notes, because here's what we're going to talk about. How to build a big business by being the Oprah in your niche. How about that? Number 2, how to get the top icons and influencers to say yes to being interviewed. Now, my goodness, we have some real examples of that on those people that Raven has landed to interview, and she's going to talk to you all about that. Also, 5 keys to turning your interviews into a cash machine. So these interview profit secrets are no more. Come on in, Raven, unmute yourself. Say hi to our audience, won't you?
Hello, can you hear me?
You're still muted. Go up to the top and click the microphone, turn it off so you can be heard.
Yep. I got it. Doing these both is a new trick for me.
All right, good job. All right, thank you. We're having so much fun with this. 2 platforms at once. We're on Blab and we are live on Hangouts and Air. So we're reaching more and more people to get the word out about interviews and why they're so important in your business and how you can use them to increase your profitability. But Raven, let's go back and let's start kind of at the beginning. I know with you and me at our point in life, we could talk forever about how we got here. But if you could give a brief synopsis, how you ended up on CNN radio and how that took you to your own talk show, and maybe even a few challenges along the way that our audience might find helpful to their own businesses. So go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you. First of all, can you hear me okay? All right. Awesome. Well, CNN, I mean, that was a blessing being on there, but my show actually started from the ICU of Methodist Hospital while I was waiting for my mother to get well. Oh my God, it was such a tough time. Imagine seeing someone that you love, with tubes around them and just really not even knowing if they're going to make it or not. And anyway, my mother went into the hospital. This is looking like this. Came out. Luckily, she came out 6 months later in a wheelchair, looking very different. As you know, sickness does age you. But in the ICU unit of Methodist Hospital in Houston is when I heard a great man by the name of Alex Mendoza say that the quickest way to become an expert is to interview the icons and the influencers and the top experts. And I took that and I went in with it, and I developed the art of asking and the art of, I call it the irresistible ask, to where I more likely got a yes than a no. And it's been an amazing journey. That's a very, very short version of my story, but for time's sake, we just given the clip note version today.
Well, first of all, isn't it amazing the inspiration we can have from, first of all, our parents, and secondly, from really a life-changing event like that. And then to realize that there's mentors out there that teach all of us, and we've both been mentored by Alex. Thank you, Alex. We've gotten some great advice from him. And so you took that to the next level and started interviewing.
Yeah,
so talk to us a little bit about, what's that?
Just celebrated 10 years. So time flies, But the real kicker was, at that time, I was 55 years old, making $10 an hour, working 20 hours a week. So it was very important that I changed my life, because there was no way I could help mother with the hospital bills and all the stuff on that salary. So it truly has just completely took my life in a different direction. And mother lived long enough to see me slightly make the financial transition, but she got a chance to hear me interview Les Brown, Fran Drescher, Montel Williams, some of her favorites. And she got a chance to be in my book. And now every year we give the Emily Awards named after her at my live event. So it's interviews and radio, and getting your heartfelt message out is definitely something I'm very passionate with passing on to other people.
Well, that's the whole point. And that's one of the things I love about the Inspirational Businesswoman show, because it does just that. It passes on inspiration to other people. And hopefully all of you out there viewing it will be able to pick up these ideas today from Raven, and again, use them in your own life and then pass them on again. Right, Raven?
Absolutely. It's all about making a difference by paying it forward and passing on our lessons, for sure.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the first hot topic. Build a big business by being the Oprah. I mean, do you really think it's possible for, the rest of us out there to be an Oprah in our niche? And how do we go about doing that?
Okay, now I kind of lost you a little bit. So I'm dealing with a couple challenges. So hopefully I'll answer that okay. But I believe you were asking me about how to be the Oprah in your niche, correct?
That's right.
Okay, good. So this is something I feel everyone has an opportunity of being the Oprah in their niche, meaning being the reporter in their industry, just like you do, Virginia. You know, you pick a niche that resonates with you. And I teach my clients, you need to do something that you're very passionate about, and that's easy breezy for you because you can do a better job when you don't feel forced into it. Okay. And so basically what you're doing is you're going out and doing like Oprah, you're getting the facts. You know, you're bringing on the people that your audience wants to hear from. Number one, it's not about us. It's about why are they here? Why are they listening? So you want to bring in the people that going to get them excited. You're going to give them the information that they are hungry and thirsty to receive. And then what Oprah does, she has a research team. So you're going to do it yourself, probably starting out, but then you're going to have a research team that's going to go out there and get the facts and bring it to the audience. And you want to sprinkle it with some celebrities. Okay. A lot of times when Oprah first started coming on, you know, she got known for having the top celebrities on there, but she also got known for bringing real issues to her platform and not really making it about, although ratings was important. I remember she tried a couple shows where she did some of the he say, she say stuff and some of the very controversial stuff, but she quickly recognized that that wasn't what was on her heart. So you got to don't go with what's popular, go what's important to you and to your audience. And I could spend, I mean, that's a whole seminar in itself, but that is the key of being the Oprah in your niche, is finding out what your audience wants, and you be the reporter. You go out there and get the facts, and you bring their heroes and sheroes and the topics that they want to hear to them, and they'll keep coming back for more.
Well, that's great information. And I agree with you. If you do the research, then you can give a good interview. It's hard to give a good interview if you don't really know who you're talking to, right? And, you know, we can say that between the two of us, we have had numerous conversations now. We had trouble connecting at first, but we've had numerous conversations in preparation for our time together so that we have a sense of who we are working with, a sense of, you know, your personality and what it is that you can bring. So I think that research is really important, obviously. And later on, as your business grows, you can certainly outsource that research. But I think it's really important to have it so that you have a good foundation for the interview. Yeah. And then to sprinkle in the celebrity is great. I'm always looking for high quality people to interview. So I haven't gone the celebrity route yet, but I think I'll make you my first celebrity. How's that sound?
How about that? Hey, I mean, I'm a celeb. I'm celeb. She said so, not me.
Yeah, there we go. So sprinkle in some celebrity and
sprinkle in some.
Wouldn't you say that 6 degrees of separation principle might apply here in sprinkling in some celebrity? How is it that you go about getting them onto your show, especially if you're a new show producer?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Great question. I mean, obviously, I didn't start out that way. I was living in Texas, not California. I wasn't in the Hollywood circles. I'm married to a Grammy music engineer now. Hey, Khalid, baby. But I wasn't then. I was married to a bus driver then. So I had no connection with celebrities at all. So I just made a vision board of who I wanted to interview. And when I was at the hospital with Mother, before I started my show, I started thinking, okay, who am I going to interview? And I started off interviewing, just friends of friends, and that was good. And I believe they were powerful, ordinary stories of extraordinary people, or ordinary people, I should say, with extraordinary stories. But then I realized that there's so many podcasts out there. There's so many radio shows out there. I needed to do something that was going to take me to the next level, faster rather than slower, and Virginia, to be honest, sooner rather than later. And so I started, listening to Les Brown, And so I wrote him down. I put him on my vision board. There's an actress back in the day that was kind of like our Halle Berry back then called Jane Kennedy. So I found someone on the internet that said they knew her. I sent them an email to give to her, and she called me, and she, she sent me an email with her information, and she was my first celebrity. And then she introduced me to someone else, and then I just got really good at asking, and I started just Googling, putting them on, cutting out their picture, and actually putting it on my vision board and made it real. And then I just picked up this receiver, same phone, been having it for 10 years, and smiled and dialed, because it's all about the power in your voice. When you are speaking with their publicist or manager, they're having a chance to connect with the voice on the other end. It's not the same as an email. I believe in picking up the receiver and then finding out what the protocol is, and then sending an email. And I truly believe that has been my success. I teach something called the Icona interview formula. And that's where I teach people that you have to investigate, and not investigate afterwards, but investigate before you ask the interview. Connect. You have to connect with the gatekeeper, the publicist, the manager first, most times before you connect with them. But there's a lot of ways you can connect with them too. So we go deep into that as well. Own. You got to own your platform. I never say I have a podcast. I never say I have a Google Hangout. I never say I have a Blab when I ask for the interview. Now, eventually I tell them the format I'm going to present it, but I never say it like that. I teach my clients that when you ask for these interviews and when you do your show, you have to sit in your chair like you are who you are, and not just a radio host, but you are the executive producer of your powerful show. And it changes lives. You reach thousands or millions, whatever the case is, or hundreds. It doesn't matter. You reach people that are thirsty to find out this information. You know what their pain is, and you know what they're hungry for. And you're saying this, and you're owning your platform. You're speaking, and I teach what you call, you're positioning yourself up. You're positioning your show up. You're acting like you're sitting in a CNN chair, the MSNBC, the CBS. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It took me being at CNN to realize, ooh, it's another feeling up in here. Yeah, I could be doing my show from my kitchen table or my home studio, but I'm an executive producer, baby, and you better know it, okay? And I'm sitting and coming with all that power. And then lastly, you got to get to the nitty gritty. You got to make it fast. You got to be on point. And you can't take up too much of their time, because you'll lose them really quick.
Wow, those were great tips. And I've got to go back and review them, because I think it's important to make it my own and help everyone else really solidify these ideas. Yeah. So you've got the Icona interview formula, which starts with investigating and who it is that you want. And so you set up a vision board. I love vision boards. As a matter of fact, I have one right behind my camera right here at the computer. And you put the people on that vision board that you wanted to interview, the influencers that were important to you. And you said the first one that you interviewed, you got them by email. But you know what? I know you couldn't do that anymore. You know, people are so inundated with email. And first of all, how would you get the right one? But you made a really good point in that you said you connect with the publicist. And so you found out the publicist and you picked up the phone and you smile and dial.
I did.
Did you guys get that? Smile and dial. Yes, absolutely critical.
Absolutely.
So then you found out what you needed in order to move to the next step in inviting that particular celebrity. Now, a couple more things. Own your show. I love that one. I think it's really important. You're right, that it is a show, that you are the executive producer of that show, and that you own it. You take your space and you own that space. And finally, you get to the nitty gritty. And that's what we're doing here. Nitty gritty, get to the point, deliver good content. great formula, Raven. Thank you for sharing that with us. I want to just add here, when you were talking about Oprah a minute ago, that Durham just said even Oprah started out interviewing everyday folks in Chicago. And that's right. I remember that because I was living in Chicago at the time. And so she wasn't at the top of her celebrity get list early on. So we all got to start somewhere, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, from the hospital, I remember asking my sister, who do you know that's written a book? And so I interviewed, my very first interview was with Brenda Graff. She wrote a book called With Six You Get Laundry. And that was my first one. And I've done on the street interviews. I've done, interviews, different places where I'm at. Just start interviewing. But again, remember, Oprah, even though she interviewed people in Chicago, she was interviewing hot topics. She was interviewing things that was important to her audience. And that's the key. It doesn't matter where you do the interview. You can do it in the studio, outside the studio. The point is WIFT, because WIFM was the old radio station. But I teach my clients, Virginia, it's WIFT, because people were taking what's in it for me, WIFM, literally, and they were looking at what's in it for me. Well, we're flipping that script. We're changing the channel. It's now, and when I teach at my events, is WIFT. What's in it for them? Them meaning your audience and your guests. WIFT, huge. And that's part of the irresistible ask that we teach that will help you in your investigation and in connecting. And I just want to also mention that on the Icon interview formula, guys, if you would like to have this for Virginia's guests, just email me. I'm putting the email in there at Talk Show Maven. You can get this. It does come with a 20-minute breakthrough to interviewing icons one-on-one session with me. After the session, you get the icon free, whether we move forward or not. So I want to invite you to go ahead. I got the link in there, and email me and just put icon, and we'll take care of your phone. But also include your phone number so one of our people can get back to you. Yeah.
Well, that's a great offer. So you start with that. So get in touch, and Raven will really give you some more insights into interviewing. And I have to say that I was never trained in interviewing myself, and I know that there's lots more that I can learn. But one of the keys that I have found is that you just have to have a genuine interest in the person that you're interviewing. If you're not interested in what they have to say, and if you don't think it's going to be of interest to your audience, then there's no point in arranging the interview at all. So it's also about being selective. If it's not a topic that interests you, more than likely it's not going to interview, or it's not going to interest your audience, right?
Yeah, and pass it on. I mean, we all have other, we're connected. Virginia, you and I are connected. We know other talk show hosts. You guys know different people on Blab. I don't like to hurt anyone's feelings. So I just got about 4 emails today, and 2 of them were definitely not even my audience. So I knew that they had investigated or done their homework. But I just told them, hey, you're not a fit for my show, but, I own a radio station, Amazing Women of Power Radio Network. So shout out to my host, AWAP. And so I said, I'll have one of my other hosts connect with you, and we'll see if you're a fit with them. So, pass it on. I mean, help them get their message out. We all have to have our first few. So I want to support everybody, and I can. And I would think that's an important message because we do want to be givers. We don't always have to be takers. But you brought up a good point. Why interview someone if you don't really have an interest? If they're not a fit, it's going to hurt your show more than help your show. For sure.
Well, and what I would add to that is it's okay to practice. It's okay to practice on anyone. So also just think about what questions you would normally ask. If you're always thinking from the standpoint of, what is it that this person is uniquely known for? What unique experiences have they had? What is it that they know that I've never experienced that might be valuable to me and or someone else that I know? So I think that having an inquisitive mind is also probably important if you're interviewing. At least that's where I'm coming from. But you're the expert.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you're 100% right on that. And, it's just a matter of, making sure that you guys connect, because if you don't connect, you and the guests don't connect, your audience will feel it. They'll feel the disconnect, and they won't be inspired to take action, and they won't be moved and empowered. So then we're really not doing what us as talk show hosts, as the Oprahs in our niche, want to do. So you want to connect. Doesn't mean you have to like that person, no, but you got to at least connect with them. And that's why it's important to have these pre-interviews or get to know you sessions, whether it be just taking them, walking them through the setup process to get them familiar. Now, I will say the bigger the icon or the influencer, the harder it is to get that one-on-one time with them. You got to be lucky if you can get them on the interview. Now, you might get their assistant, but it's hard to get them. And sometimes their assistant may be bubbly or nice, and they may be cold and distant, really. Yeah. So you got to, just expect that. And then sometimes I've been in some situations where their publicists maybe weren't that nice or friendly, but they were just awesome. So a good interviewer or talk show host is going to be ready for whatever situation. And they're going to be able to read that person the moment they come on, pick up on their energy the moment they come on. And it's a lot harder when it's live than pre-recorded. I actually train my people to start off with pre-recorded, because then, and I've done it, you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop the recording because I want to check in with you and make sure everything's okay. Because I know sometimes, unexpected stuff come up, but I don't feel, I'm not getting the feeling that this is the right day, and we can reschedule. Stop the interview. Now, when you're live, that's a whole lot harder to do. Okay. You just got to kind of go with it. Try a little this, try a little that. If you see they're not laughing, find a way that you can bring them back in. And that's why investigating, again, is such a key, because that will give you some things that you can pull, that you can grab them back and snatch them back in. That will connect with them.
In other words, you really want to have established a group of talking points or interview questions that can take you down different avenues if you come to a roadblock, so to speak.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, but I think I teach that. That's definitely helpful to have talking points. But I like to teach people to stay in their heart and not in their head. Okay, I believe you just know it so much because you've done your homework. Whether you have talking point or not, you know what's in it for them. You know what their sweet spot and their hot button. And because sometimes when you're looking at these talking points and you're paying attention too much, you're getting into your head, or you're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to grab this person in? Just tap into your soul, your gut, and go with it, because it usually is not going to take you way off the beaten path. It's really going to help you. So learn to listen to your voice inside you, guide you. And I believe that's one of the things that Oprah does. She is a very spontaneous person. I mean, she has her people do her homework, but she's a very heart-centered show host and person. And as long as you do that, and she's really good with her spiritual side and tapping into her soul and her gut, and you can too. It doesn't have to be you are a huge spiritual person, but you just want to listen to that voice inside you, guide you, because most of the time it's going to guide you in the right direction. It's going to give you that one word that you need that's going to pull you back in without you looking at any notes or wondering what's the next thing to ask. More importantly, be in the present, Virginia. Be in the present in that moment, and turn up those listening skills and your observation, and really, really look deep within them, even though you guys are on camera.
Those are so important. It seems to me that you've got to come from your heart. That's the natural place for most of us to come from, not from our head. But if you've done your homework ahead of time, those talking points are there in the background. You know that you can reach to them and naturally engage with them as you need to. So that's sort of what I meant by talking points. But I agree with you. If you don't come from your heart, and that's why I said you have to be genuinely interested in what the person has to say. in my opinion, in order to come across genuinely and with compassion, with a sense of caring. All that is really important. Great points. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to glance over here to see if we have any other points that are coming out. Nope, not at this point. Family and hopefully getting Hangout too. Okay, we'll leave that part. Anyway, let us move to the third talking point, because we have to also fulfill our promises to people, and that is about the profitability of making interviews a big part of your business. So you have 5 keys to that. Are you going to share them all with us today, or just a few?
I'm going to share some very important ones. Let's say that. Again, I'm a very spontaneous, speak from the heart person. We're going to make sure you get what you need. And I'm very passionate about moving people from having a hobby to a sustainable and profitable business. And so one of the things that new terminologies that my campus talks about and that I've coined is becoming a show hostpreneur and an interviewpreneur. So you're either going to be solo shows or either you're going to be interviewing. Either way, you want to put the preneur flavor on it, meaning you want to remember that this is not a hobby. This is a business. It's all about making that money. Ka-ching, 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 ching, ching. Snapchat that. There you go. $1 million, baby. That's what we're talking about. And that's how I've got to be known, the queen of interview conversion, and some call me the queen of Blab. So, but it's because I'm very, very passionate and adamant about you making your money, you having this as a business, a huge business, and you can create any income you want. How do you do it? That's the question. Well, first of all, you want to look at ways to monetize it. And some of the ways that I teach is taking your interviews and turning them into CD series. You can package them up. It's one of the things we coined and we teach is show people how to package up. That's one of the keys. So you take one CD and okay, that's one single product. But what if you took 5 interviews and you packaged it up in an audio series? What if you transcribed those 5 and you turned it into an ebook? Or what if you took that one CD and you transcribed it and now they can get the CD and the transcript? That's packaging it up. And then of course you add some bonuses onto that and it's sweeter. One of the things I did is I came up with careers from the kitchen table book back in, let's see, where's the first one? Back in 2010 and 2011. First, let me tell you what not to do. Do not put 2010 to 2011 or the year. It makes it not evergreen. I didn't know that. Yeah, so I didn't do that for the others. And so what I did, I interviewed Jack Canfield, Wally Amos, Allie Brown, of course, my man Alex, Lisa Nichols. This is J.B. Hill, Napoleon Hill's grandson, Cynthia Kersey, Les Brown, and Joe Vitale. And so I took the interviews, I transcribed it. Now, if you transcribe an hour interview, it's going to be about 20, 22 pages, as you know, Virginia. So what we did, we only put 10 pages in, and then we put a link that if they bought the book, the physical book from Amazon, they could go to that link and get all downloads of the 10 audios. If they were in the ebook, they could click the link and go to that page. And on that page were some things that was extra bonuses for them. I also gave people an opportunity to hook their wagon to the people I interview and to be in this book with them. I charged them $597 for that. We've got 55 people in every book that invest $597 unless I run a special, which I did. I just finished a show and offered their listeners that. And so then we went from book 1 to book 2. And now now I say instead of the year, I say first edition and second edition. Then we went to the third. This was, what is this? This is the 4th edition. And we're getting ready to release our 5th edition. And if anyone wants to find out about it, just email me at talkshowmaven.com and put book. and we'll tell you how you can get it. And of course, we'll give Virginia's people a little discount from it. So just give me a call. It won't cost you $5.97, but we'll talk about it. I think we got just a few more spots. We're supposed to actually launch it in May. We're running behind, so we're not going to launch it till after my event. So we probably could get about 3 people in it. But that's one reason, one way rather. Another thing you want to do is
before you go on, Raven, can I interrupt for just a moment, please? I want to make sure I'm clear about what you mean by that. You're saying that you have people invest if they want to be hooked up with some of the speakers. I'm a little confused about that.
No, I said if they want to be in a book and kind of sort of hook their wagons to the people that we're blessed to interview.
Got it.
You know, especially for first-time authors. Yeah. So they get to say, hey, I'm in this book with Jack Canfield, Les Brown, Bouchard, things like that.
Okay, now you can move on.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see where else we'll go. I'm trying to think of some money tips. Oh, charge for your interviews. I was, I think when I first decided I was going to charge $447 for a 5-minute interview, that was a huge step for me. Nobody knew me. Why the heck am I going to pay you? I didn't even pay Oprah to come on the show. These are the things that I heard. And it was tough to get through that. But if you can get through the no's and just work your way through the yeses, you will have a very profitable business. Now I charge $9.97 for a 15-minute interview, $5.97 for a 10-minute interview, and $4.47, I think, for a 5-minute interview. And then it gets higher the longer it is. And it depends on a lot of different things. If the interview, like now on Blab, you can give them an audio, a video, and a link to the website, embedded code. So you guys can really package it up and make some money. You got to step into your boldness and just go for it. And don't try to self-diagnose the situation, try to figure out, you know, okay, people are gonna, why should I interview it? That's, you're in your head. Just go with it and think of yourself as a entrepreneur, and what I teach, a talk show hostpreneur or interviewpreneur. And this is a business. And business, you have to ask for the money. Otherwise, you got a hobby. It's fun. It's lovable. You can cuddle with it, but it ain't gonna take you to the bank, baby. You won't hear ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, I mean, these are such valid points, and I hope that you're all taking lots of notes. I have, and I know that I've done a number of these things myself just because of the advantages of using Hangouts on air for my interviews, because again, similar to the Blab, you do have the automatic recording, easy to turn that into a transcript and into a variety of books. And when as you're saying, with all of the people that you're interviewing, that's just great material for people for reading purposes. So I love the packaging ideas, though. I haven't done a complete package except for one of my series, which is hangouticome.com. Anyone wants to go pick up that, the 5 top ways to make money with Hangouts, just go to hangouticome.com. And that one's free. So pick it up.
You guys go check that out, because she's the bomb when it comes to Hangouts for sure. But basically what you're doing is you are just, not coming on here just doing a show. You're looking at, okay, how can this show be worth my time and my effort? Just like, if you were going to a job, would you go if you weren't getting paid? No. At first, we all start out with it as hobbies. I certainly did, until we, our senses kick in and say, wait a minute, I should be making money off of this. Because I've got to get a website, I've got to get transcripts, I've got to do this, I got to do that, and it's costing me money. Right now, you're going into your bank account and you're saying, I want another camera, a better camera for my Blabs. I want to get this Hangout, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to go beyond the free level because I want to have better quality. And all this stuff is costing, whether it's a lot or whether it's little, it's costing. Why go into your bank account? I like to act like I have an ATM right behind my chair. And every time I want something, it's ka-ching, baby. Ka-ching, baby. Ka-ching, baby. And every time I do an interview, I'm asking myself what's in it for them, number one, for the audience, for the guests. But you better believe somewhere in there, it does go back to WIFM. Why am I doing this? Okay. I'm taking care of them first. But then I'm looking at the whole overall picture. Okay, so by me doing this interview, what's going to happen afterwards? Where's my money? Because, obviously, I don't charge Jack Canfield, Alex, or any of those people. Those are marquee value,
Right.
I'm not paying them to come on, and, I'm not charging them to come on. Okay, so I got to look at, okay, what am I doing? How am I going to get this? What am I getting from? Well, number one, if they email to their list, I get introduced to their audience. Perfect. They're coming to there in the interview. But at the same time, just like you just did a few minutes, Virginia, even though I'm hosting it, I'm going to seed in the proper places where people can go get something free from me. And then I'm going to get them onto my calendar. And then we will talk about my product. So that's one way of how you're getting your money, okay? Or I'm going to look at, okay, wow, I'm going to turn this into an audio series. I'll do 5 more of these icons, and I'll call it something, the Icon Interview Success Package. For instance, I was going through some of my downloads the other day because we were trying to get the last chapter of my book. I'm so excited to be coming out in a couple of weeks, called Talk Show Magic. And I ran across my interview with Lisa Nichols, John DeMartini, Dr. Joe Vitale, Jack Canfield, and John Ashraf. And my adorable husband said, wow, they were all in The Secret. And we started to brainstorm, and we said, we got to come up with a package and wrap the stars from The Secret around it.
Right. Absolutely.
So we're working on that now at the event.
Well, the other point you make, which I think is really valid, is that there's more than one type of currency that you get from doing interviews. So keep your mind open to the possibilities of what is the best arrangement you can set up with someone you're interviewing, and then how can you leverage that, which is really key to, you're taking this time, we're doing this interview. Now, that's really what we're doing here today, because we're leveraging. This show is being simulcast on Hangouts on Air and on Blab. And then it's going to end up on my iTunes channel. Those are 3 instantaneous leverages that we're doing, for one time. Absolutely. And then, as you say, you're taking it to all the peripheral packages that you can create as a result of the interview. And don't forget that you could even take out checklists and end up with a small little piece from that. Just just your little checklist that we just went through on your interview formula for
and reports, icons, infographics, so many different things to do it. And that takes us to not just leveraging from it, but repurposing. So you're doing one thing, you did it one time, and like you said, you're going to break it into different pieces of the pie. Just think of a pie, and your mom or your dad, think back when mom or grandma made these sweet potato pies or whatever your favorite pie is. And everybody's over for dinner, but they got this one pie and they got 15 people here. And they start slicing that pie into a lot of different sections, right? I remember I never wanted to be the last person because then it got really thin. But you got to look at this is my pie. How many different ways can I slice this to get it rebroadcasted, which is simulcasting it and syndicating it? But also, how many different ways can I slice it to repurpose it? And as far as ways to make money. Absolutely.
Great points. Well, here, I think we're going to have to bring this part of the interview to a close. But before we do, I want you to know that those of you who are with us on Blab, great that you're here live. I'll open up the seats if you want to come in and ask Raven or myself a question. But before we do that, I want you to talk for a moment about your upcoming training in June. And let me, while you're doing that, let me bring this up for people to see where they can register for it. So go ahead, Raven, and talk about your secrets.
Okay, great.
You know what the secrets we're talking about.
Right, it's Red Carpet Interview Secrets, and I actually have 5 tickets for anyone that listens to this that's a listener of Virginia. So we got 5 right here, 1, 3, and 2. And
that's
we're going to give these to you for, instead of $297, you're only going to pay $97. And so you want to go to that website. That's the only way. And we can only give 5 out for each interview that I'm doing. And in fact, I have an extra one here. I pulled an extra one out because I wanted to give Virginia, because we connected so much, an extra bonus. So Virginia, we got 6 set aside for your people. So we got 1 extra one for you.
Oh, that's
okay. Red Carpet Interview Secrets. It's our 3rd annual event. And basically everything that you learned today, we're going to go really deep. We're going to, first of all, work with the inner strength strategies and showing you, number 1, to have the mindset, not just to succeed, but of a millionaire in making, using the power of your voice, your heartfelt message, and getting it out, be it you doing a solo platform yourself or interviews. I recommend interviews, and that's why it's called Red Carpet Interview Secrets, because again, that's what's changed my life. We're going to show you how to really dive deep in investigating. I think I do it a lot deeper than a lot of people. And we're going to show you where to find the golden nuggets and the hot spots so that you can, the hot points that's going to get them excited. We'll talk to you about the irresistible ask. What is the irresistible ask? What's the formula? So that you'll get more yeses than nos when you ask people to interview. We'll show you our interview, we call it our interviewpreneur triple threat trinity process, where we'll show you how to be a host interview, how to be interviewed on other people's shows, and how to interview your clients, closing 4 and 5 figures on a 1-call close. This is part of our interview formula, which takes you to 6 figures. It's actually the interviewpreneur formula that takes you to 6 figures. We have people walking around with microphones and asking their guests, their dream guests, for an interview. We have such a cute, beautiful exercise that people love. So it's 3 days in the trenches. Bring your hat. You must bring your hat, especially on the last day. The first day, we have a red carpet awards where my station, Amazing Women of Power, we give our top host an award. It's red carpety, it's entertainment, people love it. The Emmy Awards, named after my mom, is given. I'm so excited about that. And we just have a lot of surprises. And more than anything, you will walk out with confidence. You'll walk out with the formula to success as far as getting the interviews and making money from the interviews. We even work on figuring out what platform is right for you. I don't think everybody should be doing webcasting. I don't think everybody should be doing live interviews. Maybe you're one of the people that could just jump into that, maybe not. And we will go over a list of things that I did that didn't work. I want to pass those on to you so you won't make the same mistakes. I could go on and on. It's so much. 3 days with me. I'd love to meet you. I know I've seen a lot of you here before. Durham, I know you've been here before, and several other people. Barb has been here before. And you guys, I would just love to shake your hand and meet you and come dance with us and have a good time. We even last year, we created something called the interview shuffle. So we'll be doing that this year. People loved it. We just spontaneously came up with this dance, and so we're so excited. So I hope to see you there. Remember, we got 6 tickets for Virginia's listeners, whether you're listening live or to the replay.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is going to cut off on Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and read that for our iTunes listeners. It's hmtips.com/Raven Secrets. hmtips.com/Raven Secrets. So You have until Tuesday to take advantage of those tickets. And I want to thank you, Raven, so much for providing that for our viewers. I really appreciate it, and I know they do too. Well, this has been an absolute wealth of information. I mean, I've got 2 pages of notes. I hope the rest of you have taken notes as well. If not, come back and watch this again and take notes the second time around, because you cannot absorb all this at the first time, or your mind might not wrap around all of it initially. So come back and watch again. Not only that, help spread the word. Tweet this out and let other people know that we've had this interview, and that we would greatly appreciate. So what we're going to do now is say goodbye to our Hangout viewers, and thank you so much for being with us. And I will open up the seats for anyone who wants to stop in briefly and say hi to Raven and ask her a question. But in the meantime, those of you on the Hangouts in there, thank you so much for joining us. Have a terrific week, and we'll see you on the next Inspirational Businesswoman show. Thank you, Raven.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, great. All right, so we're now going to close down the Hangout green room, and we'll just hang out in the Blab room.
Okay, so I am just in the Blab room now. How cool.
Yeah, we're just in the Blab room. So I've also posted the link here in Blab for anyone who wants to take advantage of it. And I really think I wish that I weren't in the traveling mode when you're having this, because this is definitely something I would like to take advantage of. So
I know,
those of you who are my viewers, I have a number of viewers, Raven, who also do shows, web TV shows. Most of the ones that I, of course, have been associating with have been doing Hangouts. So I'm going to pass the word on to them as well so that they can take advantage of this.
Awesome. Thank you. It'd be great to have them. Yeah, I enjoyed. I mean, the first year, I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it going, and then it just gets gooder and gooder, so to speak. And we dive deeper and deeper into it. And just to see the audience walk out with such breakthroughs and so much confidence, and then they email and tell me, oh my God, I just got this interview with so-and-so, and it's so exciting, someone they never thought. But we actually have them practicing what we teach, so by the time they leave out, they are ready.
Well, that's terrific. So do you actually at the event have them attempt to make connections right then and there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We get them ready. We take them through a process to get ready, so by the time they actually go there, they're ready. We take them through an exercise the second day, and then they actually make the calls on the third day, and they feel so empowered. They're ready for the no's. They know how to handle it. They've got their positioning up, and it's phenomenal to see. It really is.
Well, another thing I'm sort of thinking about is when you are new at something like this and a little bit intimidated, and you guys, I'm pretty comfortable with technology now, but I'll tell you what, when I started a few years ago, it was frightening as all get out. So that's kind of part of what you've got to work through so that you can establish your presence and be present. When you're managing a lot of buttons, and as I say, I've had multiple screens open here that I've had to manage to navigate through so that we could do this simultaneously on both platforms. It does take some practice. So what better place to practice and, get some of that nervousness out of you than among friends and people that are supporting you that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, you just have to just put yourself out there and practice. Look at the one, not just practice it, but study what you've done afterwards. Take a look at it and say, oh, okay, ooh, I wasn't really in my power today, or I could handle that interview. Learn from that. I try to watch as many as I can. I've done so many interviews. I think I've done like over 150 just on Blab. So alone, and then 10 years of interviewing, I've got tons in there, and I can tell you some of my best ones I've never listened to. And but when I first started, I used to listen to them all the time. And I was just sharing with my husband, I'm kind of changing since I hit 65 this year. I'm so glad. I'm looking at, okay, how do I see the next 3-4 years? And one of them is sharpening my skills. I've been doing this so long, I don't ever want to get into settling for where I'm at, because I know we can all grow and get better. I do so many interviews that I don't really have the chance to better Raven. And how am I going to be a better mentor and teacher and trainer if I don't up my skills? I'm not going to be every year teaching the same thing. I always try to throw in a couple new things and keep things fresh. And that's from, training, being with mentors like Alex and Lisa and sharpening my skills that way. But I'm looking this year to really sharpen my skills in interviewing and in being a talk show host, because I know I have not even touched the surface of where I can be. And so that's one of my strong messages I'll be passing on at the event for people to take some time out to sharpen your skills. Even though you're really good at what you're doing, you need to sharpen your skills. And it doesn't mean just train people, so that means I will get better and find schools and stuff, because I never went to broadcasting school. I got this thing from the hospital and just ran with it. I was like, well, I wonder what would happen if I ever went to broadcasting school other than Raven school, because I never been there.
You've been to Raven school, and that's the school of getting out there and just doing it.
Yeah.
and that's just really the school I went to too, is just getting out there and just doing it. And as you say, if you come from your heart and just are yourself, that's the only person you can be anyway. So why try to be something other than that? That's the person you know the best. So come from your heart.
Authenticity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So you've just given some fabulous tips, and we're having some nice compliments. Thank you, Renew Your Mind. We appreciate that.
Tuning in. Yeah.
Does anyone want to come in? The seat is open. I have 2 seats open. If anybody would like to jump in for a few minutes, say hi. Just to come in and say hi. Come in and ask a question. That's what interviewing's about.
What's your burning question? Yeah. What's your biggest challenge? What's got you stuck?
What are you thinking about doing? What if you could start an interview program? What kind of program would you be doing? We'd love to hear those ideas.
Yeah.
And, a question I have, we're waiting to see if anyone's brave enough to come on in, you guys, is that interviewing on just audio versus something as complicated as the videos that we're doing. What are your recommendations in that regard?
On how to, or what to use?
Yeah, if you were going to do an audio interview rather than video interviewing, what would be the best resource?
Well, yeah, most of 80% of my interviews are audio. I just started doing live streaming last October. I basically use free conference call line since 2006 from the kitchen table, and it's never failed me. I mean, when I interviewed Oscar winner Lou Gossett Jr., guess what? It was on free conference call line. When I interviewed Montel Williams, guess what? It was on free conference call line. When I interviewed Fran Drescher and Lindsay Wagner, it was on free conference call line.
Well, now that's another point. That's another point, isn't it? That you want to keep it easy for the person who you are interviewing. So it might be easier for them to just jump on an audio line as opposed to jumping on a Hangout. Whereas I usually prepare my guests when they're jumping on a Hangout.
Yeah. But actually, to be honest, I wasn't thinking about them. That was what I had. I didn't have this mic, none of that. I just had the phone and free conference call. And up until I went to CNN, all my interviews was done that way. So from 2006 to 2010, then I went to CNN and that was live. Then I left CNN in 2011. We started the Amazing Women of Power radio station, and it started from a conference call line. I train my hosts still today to do their show from free conferencing or freeconferencecall.com. I keep it easy breezy.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. It's a great way to start.
Yeah.
And of course, then that's all, you can record all of that, obviously. So that's very easy. And then you just download it and make it your own and get it transcribed.
There you go. Make it your own. Put your little special secret sauce in your editing and stuff. You can put slides with it or whatever. I think it takes an art to that you need to master to go to do live streaming, because it's so different. And like you said, we have so much equipment. I mean, now, I've got all this fancy stuff. I have a TV studio and everything going at one time. But that wasn't my start, and that wasn't it until I married this man a couple of years ago. Other than that, it was free conference call line. I just happened to marry a Grammy music mixing engineer, but it wasn't always like that. Like I told you, the first one was a bus driver, so you better believe I was using a bus.
Well, and look at all the amazing interviews you did from your kitchen table. Yeah. I mean, that just makes it so real.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking you have to have all this equipment. And honestly, I don't either, even though I look like I got a fancy studio behind me. I'm in my home office in Reno, Nevada, and I have a green screen behind me, and I just chose this particular backdrop because it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary. So the key is whether or not you're doing it on these live stream broadcasting platforms or you're doing it on freeconferencecall.com. The key is find something you're interested in, you're passionate about, and that will help you connect with other people with similar passions, and it will actually become fairly easy and natural to do an interview.
Keep it easy, breezy.
Yeah,
easy breezy technology until you're ready. Now you do a beautiful job, Virginia, in mastering the art of all the technical stuff. But you and I both know that most people don't start there. And
no, neither did I.
It can be intimidating to people because I know everybody's like, well, I want to be like her. I want to be like Virginia. I want to be like Raven. I want to be like Alex. I want to be like this. But you have to start where you're at and get comfortable there, and then take small steps forward, a little piece at a time. And I can bet you Virginia spent many nights instead of sleeping, learning that technology, playing it, getting in the morning. How do I know? Because I do the same thing. So you got to be willing to do the things that others want. Yeah. I think Jerry Rice, he has a quote that's one of my favorite, and it says, I will do the things that others won't so I can live my life like others can't. Meaning some people won't miss that soccer game, won't miss going out to the movies, won't miss staying up at night when everybody's sleeping, studying and trying things. But you got to do the thing to have the power. And that means you got to be willing to go the distance and try things and test things and be okay when things don't work and keep trying and testing. That's just part of growth, whether you're being a talk show host or interviewpreneur or running any business. We have to put in the time. We just do. So applause to Virginia.
Well, find your passion. You will put your time in there. I think that's really what it's about. If it's something that you love doing. And who would have thought, I've spent 25 years as a life coach and hypnotherapist. Who would have thought I'd end up in this career? Because I found it so fascinating. And I became passionate about it, and I saw the potential of what it can do. And, in my case, just for those of you who just aren't familiar at all, the whole reason I went into starting to use Hangouts and Air as my preferred platform, because it is, I think, the most robust platform out there as far as all that it'll do for you. It was because I was moving from a brick and mortar business where people came to see me into a global business where people were working with me one-on-one right here as though we were right across the kitchen table from each other, or in my case, in the same office. And when I found the power of this technology, I just wanted more and more of it. I wanted to see how far I could stretch it. And that's, I think, the ultimate that I did, it was last fall after I'd started to play around with Blab as well. I think I ended up broadcasting simultaneously across 7 different platforms. And when I say that, I was also doing the Blab and the Hangout at the same time with the same camera, with the same microphone. And it was a ball, but it was because I said, I want to stretch. So just like you're saying, when you are working on your own interviewing skills, you want to stretch yourself, try other things out, just work on improvement, and you will get better and it will get easier. You will feel more comfortable. You will be able to own your position in the interview world, and you can end up having a very profitable business. And that is really the bottom line of what we were talking about here today, wasn't it, Raven?
Yeah, I love what you do. And, just owning it. Owning what you do. And owning it, part of owning it is, okay, I want to be the best at what I do. I remember when I interviewed Russell Simmons, And he said, if you're going to sweep the ground or the floors, if you're going to take out the trash, if you're going to be a nurse, whatever you're going to be the very best at what you do. Be the very best, and make that your intentions and go with it. Don't look at the person that does it better. You just be your best. And that's only what you do, loving what you do. And you brought up such a huge key, Virginia. You have to do what you're passionate about. Time out for doing stuff that you don't like to do. Life is too precious and it's way too short for that. Do what you love. And that's the fun thing about having your show or being an entrepreneur. It's not a job. You can decide whether you want to stay with it or leave it. Even if you're skilled at something, doesn't mean it's your passion. I've been skilled at a lot of things that I hated. And I did it for a lot of years. And look, I didn't fall into my passion until I was 55, making $10 an hour, 20 hours a week at that Methodist hospital. But my why was not strong enough. Seeing my mom in that, ICU ward, my why became big. And I think that's what it takes. We got to really tap into what is our why. And sadly, sometimes our why may not be strong enough to move us forward. Maybe it is a sick family member. Maybe it is, a child you want to get in school, or grandchild, but whatever it is, tap into your why.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. Raven, this has been such a delight. I'm so sorry I can't join you in a couple weeks, only because I'm going to be out of town, but I'm going to put this up again because Raven has provided this wonderful gift for all of you, and you may take advantage of these. She's only got 6 tickets, so get there now.
She got another one because she's all the bag of chips and M&Ms on the side. That's why. So here's why, but we got another one put up that we will have for her. So you actually have 6, and instead of paying $97, you're only paying $97. Guys, that is nothing for all that you're going to walk away with. And so I just hope to see you there. Remember, if you come, bring your hat, because the last day you're going to need it, and you'll find out why. And bring your formal dress, because the red carpet interview secret, guys, suit up. We're going to have a ball.
I love it. So here, I'm just showing you a little bit where I'm fooling around in my studio with different backgrounds. But absolutely, please come join us. We would love to have you be there, and you can take notes for me, okay? If you go on one of these.
Well, you can come to our one that we're going to have in October, 6-figure interview secret. So maybe you can come there. Love to have you as my guest.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Raven. This has just been delightful, and love getting to know you better. And that's the key. That's why I love these platforms, because we could just jump on them and blab, right? So those of you who didn't jump on, you could have, but maybe next time you will,
Right. And just remember, go ahead and try interviews is everything. So go out there and don't be scared. Change your life and change others through interviews.
I love it. Thank you so much, Raven. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a terrific Memorial Day weekend. Go out and enjoy.
Memorial Day.
Yeah. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again, everyone. Bye-bye now.